Hi, welcome to my card in a cuppa for Wednesday the 23rd of July 2025. My name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast, so welcome. Now, I'm pretty sure I've gone live because I've got the email saying that I was live, so if you're out there, jump on, say hi. Now, I just wanted to let everybody know that Stampin' Up has... Hi, Lynn, how are you? Stampin' Up has offered 3 days of free shipping starting today. So today, Thursday and Friday through to midnight Friday, there's free shipping on any orders over $65. So make sure you take advantage of that if you've got anything on your wish list or if you need to stock up on card stock or adhesives, any of the stuff that you use all the time. The order does have to be over $65 in Australia. So once it's over $65, you'll get free shipping. And the bonus is you also get your reward points to use against another order. So if you place a $65 order, you will get $6.50 credit in your rewards points, and you can apply that to your next order. So don't forget that. You put your order in this morning, Lynn. Yeah, I'm just about to, when I've done this video, I'm going to sort of put my order through. I had a whole lot of stuff sitting in my cart, so I thought, you know what? Let's just do it now. Free shipping. Now look at my hair. Look at it, it's going all the wrong way. I curled it this way this morning and it's just decided to go a mind of its own and just go stupid. That's a first world problem, isn't it? Doesn't matter as long as I've got hair. Hi, Marilyn. So yeah, don't forget that there's free shipping for the next 3 days. So anything you're running out of, whack it on an order. Put the order over $65. You'll earn $6.50 in reward points and you'll get free shipping. So don't forget that. So today I'm going to do a sketch, follow a sketch, roughly. Hi, Margaret. And I'm using something that's an online exclusive and it is Christmas. So Christmas in July. Let's go with that. What is it, the 23rd of July? Let's pretend it's Christmas Eve. Oh, help. But anyway, let's play with this. So let's go down to the craft desk and get started. Okay. So this is the bundle I'm going to be playing with. It's called Bauble Blooms. Now look, I've stuck something up on my stand and I really don't like it up there, so I'm going to move it. I'm just not sure where I'm going to stick it though. Put it over there. Okay. It's called Bauble Blooms. Now it looks really interesting. And you probably think, oh my goodness, what does that make? Well, this is what it makes. Look at this beautiful little floral sort of bauble. It's really cool. And it's two-step stamping, so it's sort of got a little bit of technique there. And it's photopolymer. Now, the really sad thing about photopolymer and cherry cobbler ink, first application, your stamps look like that. Almost makes you cry, but it doesn't stop them from working perfectly. So this is the stamp set, and I have used it on cherry cobbler, as you can tell. Which, yeah, it really makes me sad the way it stains. The red inks make them stain, but it doesn't stop them from working. Hi, Joan. They still work perfectly well. It just makes me sad. But then I'm a bit sad. And this is a little die packet that you get, which fits beautifully inside your stamp case. And this bundle is only $62. So it's the stamp set and these dies, $62 in total. It's just a bundle and it is in the online exclusive range. So I thought to myself when I saw it, I don't know when I bought it. I think it went live to customers at the beginning of July. I might have got it towards the end in the pre-order. You were wondering about this one and what it looked like. Well, there you go. Hi, Tanya. There you go, Marilyn. We can have a little look at it today. So I just thought $62 for this bundle. It's pretty reasonable stamp set and dies for Christmas cards. And I thought you could buy this bundle alone, use it with some old designer series paper that you've got, and you could whack out all your Christmas cards. And they're quite pretty. So, an American demonstrator, Amy, I think you say her name, Coenders, she made something quite similar to this card. Now, I've pulled out my old retired holly embossing folder. It is ancient. Look, it's even when we had the Big Shot, Sizzix Big Shot. That's how old it is. And it's not a 3D one. It's just my old holly embossing folder that I hung on to. And back in the day, I used to do these little tags to show when I did lots and lots of in-person classes to show people what the embossing folder looked like. But yeah, I hung on to this because I thought this one's really good and you can pull it out. And it's not exactly the same as the new one. That's the hybrid embossing folder. Oh, thanks, Marilyn. But you know, use your stuff that you've got. Use what's in your stash. I'm not drawn to the new holly embossing folder, that the hybrid one, that bundle. It doesn't do anything for me. So that's why I haven't got it. But if I believe you can just buy that embossing folder. So if you don't have a holly embossing folder, you could probably just buy that embossing folder. I don't think it's part of the whole bundle. I think you could buy it separately. I will double check that. I think it's like the sailing, sunrise sailing embossing folder. I'm pretty sure you can buy that separately. Anyway, I just pulled out from my stash, because we all have a lot of stuff in our stash, a lot of retired stuff, my old holly embossing folder, and I just stamped gold, did this stamp in the gold. So this is like the leaves part of this. And then I did the 2-step stamping with the flowers in cherry cobbler and the bow in cherry cobbler. And Versamark, I put the Merry and the Christmas together. And I like this set because it's got a Merry separate to the Christmas and a Happy separate to the Christmas. So therefore, if you don't say Happy Christmas, you can put Merry Christmas together. If you don't say Merry Christmas and you say Happy Christmas, you can put Happy Christmas together. I've got one lady who comes to my classes who says, I never say Happy Christmas. Like, that's just stupid. It's Merry Christmas. Okay. We can accommodate both people. Hi, Felicity. And these are the beautiful embellishments from the Kintsugi Inspirations Suite Collection. That I'm going to get another pack in my order this afternoon when I put it through, because they are so gold and they'll be so good for Christmas, I think. So that was one card I did. And as I said, Amy, I'm sure it's Coenders or Coenders in America, she did something quite similar. And I thought that was beautiful. She followed a sketch. It had like, I think it was an oval, the sketch she followed. And she just did this as part of the sketch. And then I got this one out. Now, where did I put? Oh, okay. Let's move that. Let's go to our little sketch page in our annual catalogue down the bottom here. I figured this card was kind of, thanks Joan, was kind of like this sketch. Can you see that? And I just dropped the banner down. So that's how you can use a sketch. You don't have to follow it exactly. I didn't want to put the banner across the bottom of my bauble because I wanted to see the little peak. So I just dropped it down. And then, let me get my catalogue back in the right way. Oh, how do I do that? There we go. And then I also got the sketches. So I printed out, I don't know, from some demonstrator. She printed off all the sketches from last year's annual catalogue. And I kind of followed this one for this card. But I didn't do a banner. I did a circle instead. So I just sort of kind of followed the sketch just to give me an idea. And then I thought, I don't want a banner going across it. I want it like that. So I thought we could recreate this card, but in different colours. Now, the other thing I got recently was the Season of Elegance Specialty Designer Series paper. Hi, Leslie. Thanks for joining us. Now this was available last year, and I think it went with a stamp set and die. I didn't get any of it. I didn't even get the paper, but this time around I got the paper. It's still available. The stamp set and dies have been retired, or they're on the last chance list, but the paper has carried over into the online store, and it's specialty paper, and it comes in like the vanilla, the pretty peacock or lost lagoon, I think it says, mossy meadow, cherry cobbler. Oh, let me move over. Cherry cobbler. Yeah, and it's specialty. It's got gold foil on one side and just flat matte on the other side. So it's really beautiful, and I thought that could be great backgrounds for cards for this Christmas. So I got that. I think that's pretty much all I need to tell you. Let me put my catalogue away. I'm down on the floor anyway. So these are my two couple of plays with the Bauble Blooms. Okay. Hi Leslie. Hi Kerry. Thanks for joining us. Now, so I'm going to do it with crumb cake. And I want to show you what I've done here. This one I put a whole panel of gold foil paper, also in my cart, ready for my free shipping, because I need more of that, behind the designer series paper. I wanted to show you a trick. I did it on this card because there were some creases in the foil that had gotten a bit crunched, and I thought there's no point in cutting the center out. But look at this. So let's get our card base. That's crumb cake, and I've done a tent fold card. So let's get this happening. Okay, let's put that there. I've got my gold foil panel. Now, this is if you want to be like really Scroogey and not put a whole panel behind. Get a die, and I've got the textured note dies, and I've cut the center out. Now I can use that now on another card. And then I've got, so this matting piece was 10 centimeters by 14.4 or 14.3. And I've just cut the center out, because I'll show you why. If you don't do that, there's all that space wasted. You're covering up all that gold foil. And the gold foil, you get two 12 by 12 sheets, I think for $8.75. And so I try to use it, frugally without being too much of a Scrooge. But this is a way of getting another panel for another card, because you're just really going to put this straight over the top, and all that center of the gold foil is going to waste. So there's a thought. I didn't do it on this card because there were some creases in the middle, and I thought I won't probably use that anyway, so I just used the whole panel. But this time round, I thought I could use that on something else. And then my next matting piece, which is 9.5 centimeters by 13.9, it's going to go straight over the top, and then that's going to go onto our card base. Nobody's going to know unless you and I tell them that there's a hole in the gold foil. So we're not going to say anything. So let's put some glue. Now, if you don't want to use glue on foil, I understand that. You've got to sort of not smudge it onto the foil, if you can help it. So you do have to put the glue or the adhesive around the edge of your matting piece of designer series paper, because otherwise, if you put it in the middle, it's not going to work. So just going to put a specialty matting piece of DSP on top of our foil, like so. And I have smudged it a bit. I had a bit of spurtage, but I'll just wipe that up. It's always good to have a tissue on hand. And I've had a bit of spurtage onto my glass mat, but that just wipes straight up. Gotta love this glass mat. I don't know if the glass mat's still available. Probably is, but I just don't know. Don't know why I'm wiping the back up. I'm about to put more glue on that. Okay, so nobody knows that that piece of gold foil is only around the edge. We just made it like a frame. and then covered it up. And then we're going to pop it onto our card base like so. So let's do that, and then we'll have our card base ready. So I'm just going to go around the edge of the foil, but this time we can go in the center. You've probably seen that trick done before, but I just thought I'd share it, just in case somebody hadn't seen it and wanted to savour their gold foil. Use it frugally. Okay, so that's our card base all ready to go, and you don't know that gold, we've taken that piece out, and that's going to go on another card down the track. So that's our card base done. So now I'm going to bring in, we'll talk about them in a minute. I'm going to, now I think I'll do Pretty Peacock again, because I do like that. Pretty Peacock and Cherry Cobbler. Now I do need to get, you can see my stamping off on that. Let me grab this one. I think that one's had the gong. So let's put this one down. Let's move a few things. Okay, let's just move a few things. There we go. Now we've got something I can stamp off on. Okay. Right, let's find a block. Get that one out, and I'll get that one out. Okay, so here we have got our stamp set. So I am going to go for my leafy type one. And just place it on my cardstock to pick it up, because I don't want to distort the shape of it. Thanks, Leslie. And I'm just going to ink it up. It's Pretty Peacock. Yep, that's Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to and now I don't want to put it too close to the edge, because this die actually has quite a large border around the bauble stamped image. So I want to keep my stamping in a little bit. So let's just move it over a fraction. And this one actually I did put the paper piercing mat underneath it, but it seems to work all right. That looks all right. So I'm going to ink it up again, because we need two. And I might actually turn this around and do it over this side. And just keeping it away from the edge enough to have the die cut it out. Okay, so that's that. So let's bring in my chamois. My yucky old chamois that actually needs to be run under the tap and re-moistened, but not now. So I'm pretty sure I've finished with that. We'll have for the time being. And we'll take that off and put that back. Now, you want to do the outline first. The outline of the flowers. Can you see? No, you probably can't. I'll put it on a block. Can you see that that's got the outline of the flowers? And this one has got like the filled in flower. So I find it easier to do the outline first. And I think Cherry Cobbler is one of those inks that is fraught with danger. So I'm just going to ink it up. And you might think, how do you line that up? See this little point down here on your bauble? See that little point down here? If you line up a little dot or flower down there and then sort of line up here, it lines up. It takes a little bit of practice, but it is doable, is what I'm trying to say. So here we go. I hope I don't bring my head in. I might have to bring it down a little bit lower. Okay, so I'm just going to line that dot up, and then I'm just going to twist it around and make sure I've got my flowers where I want them. And they kind of sort of go... Look, she's having a struggle today now. Look, I've said all that and now I'm trying to do it and I can't do it. Okay, let's just do it. Let's just go with it. Down. I don't think I've done that very well at all whatsoever. Let's have another go. I did it okay yesterday. Isn't that funny? Okay, let's bring it down a fraction, maybe. Or do I have to take it up? I think you've got to take it up. It's one of those stamp sets that it doesn't really matter. Let me just try and line this up again. There we go. I think that's better. Fingers crossed. Yeah, that's better. That'll do. And you know what? That one's going to do as well, because it doesn't really matter. I think in a class situation this might be a bit challenging for some people because some people are very precise and they don't like things not being exactly the way it should be. Now this is where I'm going to stamp off. I'm going to fill my flower with a stamped off version of Cherry Cobbler. Okay, so now once again you can just sort of line up your flowers. It's easy when you're doing it. I hope. Let's go with it. Fingers crossed. Yes, that. I'll bring it up. So they might not be perfectly lined, but in the big scheme of things, it looks okay. So let's turn it around and do it again. And I always tap very gently with Cherry Cobbler, and I'm just going to stamp it off once, bring it over, and I find the big flowers are the easier ones to line up. I hope my head's not coming in. I think that's it. Let's go down. Fingers crossed. Yep, and like, you can see that I have not quite lined it up perfectly. But as I said, it doesn't really matter. Like on some of these, I didn't line it up quite perfectly. But it still looks okay. And if anybody picks your card up and goes, oh, you didn't line that up very well, you know what I'd do? I'd slap them. Well, that's violent, isn't it? I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. Now I'm going to do the bows. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. I'm really sorry. If anybody said that about a card I gave them, I'd think, that's the last card you're getting. Okay, let's clean this off. I challenge them to do better. That's what I do. Okay, so now we've got a little bow here. Don't report me for assault or anything like that. I'm just going to stamp a little Cherry Cobbler bow, 2 Cherry Cobbler bows, and clean it off, because as I said, I feel like Cherry Cobbler is fraught with danger. Close it up before I get myself into a real situation. Okay, let's bring our little die pack in. Now, I've cut out a couple of stylish shaped circles. I'm not sure if I want to stamp that with Pretty Peacock or whether I want to stamp it with and heat emboss it in gold. Let's make that decision later. I've already cut a couple of the little toppers for the baubles. Already cut them out. So let's just move these things to one side. And I don't believe I need my paper again, so we'll get rid of that. And I'll grab my cut emboss machine and we'll bring that in. Everyone's gone very quiet because they probably think I'm a violent person now. Ah, well. Okay, so let's just get a little bow out. So we'll cut a bow and a bauble at a time. And now this die, I haven't played with this one yet. This die cuts out the leaves and the flowers. I think it goes... as I said, I haven't played with it yet because it looked a bit tricky. So you can sort of cut that part of the bauble out and give it some elevation and dimension, but I haven't done that yet because I thought let's just stick with what we can do. Let's just stick with things we can do. Okay, that's a bit scraggy, so let me just get a couple of... Okay, so this doesn't fit snug around your bauble, so you do have space. So you just sort of line the tip of the bottom up and then an even amount on either side. And this one's pretty good with that bow, so I'm just going to go like that. And run those ones through the embossing machine, the cut emboss machine. I know, Margaret. No, really. If someone looks at your card and says you didn't line that up very well, are they even a nice person? I don't think they are. There we go. And I put stitching on it. So you've got stitching all around it, which is really nice. And that's why I think the Stylish Shape dies, it also has the stitching around it. They're nice dies to go with it. Okay. And then this is my little bow. Little stamped and die cut bow. Pretty cute. So Denise has got to do the bow upside down this time around because she's along. Put my tape down to hold it, and as I said, oh, that was nearly too close. Just make sure you got your point on your bauble lined up and there's even space around on either side of your stamped image, and you'll be good to go. So yeah, I'm yet to play with that other die that cuts out the centers of the baubles to make it more, give it more dimension. I'm yet to play with that. So let's get that out. And it's really quite warm here today. Like, when I say warm, it's not like summer. Oh, happy birthday, Leslie. Hope you're having a lovely day. It would have been my dear Mum's birthday on Monday. The 21st would have been her birthday. So, July people are nice people. So I'm just putting these back on my little tiny die packet, and I've gone round my dies so that I know if something's missing. And I did find, if anybody watched the other day and I had a missing die, like I'd found a die, I found where it went. It was with the it was with the retired things I'd pulled out, and it was Thoughtful Journey. I'm pretty sure that's what it went with. Ah, now, where are we? Here we go. Here's the one we're working on. I'll put that there to cover up the glare. Now look, have I lost? No, I have not. And there are my two bows. Oh, mercy. Okay, so these are our little tag, you know, those little medley things that go into the bauble. Do you know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. Okay, let's just put some glue dots on the back of them and just attach it to our bauble. I think the glue dots are the easiest, and I'm just making it sure it sits on side to side, sits nicely. See? You can always straighten it up if you've got a bit skew-if. But that's the topper of our bauble. Let's do it to the other one. Now, many years ago, I started a bit of a tradition with our family. I bought a whole lot of cheap baubles, the hanger-uppera. It is. Now, if I'd said that, I would have felt like I was being really silly, but it is the hanger-uppera. I bought some cheap, shiny coloured, different coloured baubles. And do you remember Kindy Glitz? The sparkly, liquidy, gluey stuff? So I put that one up higher. But you know what? I don't think it really matters. And I wrote all the family members, I gave them a bauble each, and I did the Kindy Glitz. I wrote their name on it, and then I'd hang the bauble up. But it was really tricky, because if you hung the bauble up, if you put too much Kindy Glitz on it, the name just dribbled. So I had to try and not do too much, and I'd have to hang it carefully. Well, I've got to make another one this Christmas for Sage. I've got to do another one and hang that up on the tree. So it's really nice at Christmas time, because my Christmas tree is my thing at Christmas. And when I get all my baubles out, I think of all the family and my mum and dad who are no longer with us, and we hang them up on the tree. We've had girlfriends come and go, that a couple of them I've smashed and stomped my foot on them. See, I am a violent person, aren't I? When Matt got rid of a couple of girlfriends that were just terrible, horrible people, I did take them out into the backyard and stomp on them. But I don't need to do that now, because he's got a nice girlfriend and Liv's got a nice husband. So, well, Matt's got a wife, so I sound like I'm a really violent person, and I'm really not. Now, it's up to you where you put your bow. I tend to put it here, just below the hanger-uppery thing. I sound like a very... Oh, have they, Tanya? Ah. Yeah, thankfully Matt has seen the light, and he's married Steph, and she is just the most gorgeous thing. He even says, Mum, it took me a long time. And he said, you always said I learnt the hard way. And I thought, boy, you learn the hard way, mate. Anyway. You guys must think I'm an absolute lunatic. Not to worry. Okay. It gave me great pleasure to stomp on a couple. I'm going to put... So where's that sketch gone? What did I do with the sketch? Oh, Lord knows. Is it in my catalogue? It is. Okay, so I don't go with the dimensions. I just go with the flow. And to me, it's got 2 circles, and it had a banner across, whereas I did another circle. And that's why I liked it, the Stylish Shape Dies, because it's got the stitching like the baubles. So I'm going to do that one flat down, and this one I'm going to pop up. And then I've got crumb cake to match my base. And I could heat emboss in gold on it, or stamp it in Pretty Peacock. Ah, thanks, Margaret. I'm not sure if some of those ex-girlfriends think that. Well, actually, I think that was their problem. I could see through them, and they knew it. And, yeah. Anyway, we're happy times now. So, I could stamp Pretty Peacock, or I could heat emboss gold. What do you think, ladies? What would you... Let's stamp one in Pretty Peacock. Stamp in Pretty Peacock. Kerry came in first. And as I said, there's a merry and you can add Christmas, or a happy and you can add Christmas, or you can have wishing you a Merry Christmas. It's got here, wishing you some and glad tidings. Oh, that's a string, obviously. A string for the, if you just stamp like a bauble Do you know what I mean? Like if you're just stamping straight on and you're wanting to put a string. Wishing you a Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas. This is joyous wishes to you and yours. I'm not sure where you'd put and glad tidings. Wishing you a Merry Christmas, and then on the inside you could add glad tidings. Oh, you've got 4 grown-up grandkids to worry about, Leslie. That's scary. That's scary. Some people deserve their baubles stomped on. Tanya, I totally agree. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that works. All right, let's stamp in Pretty Peacock. And see what... Oh, look, you can even stamp your little hanger-upper thing. I wonder if that... okay, Denise has just worked something out. You stamp this hanger-upper thing, and then you can die cut it out. I like this one better. Okay, let's just stick that there and pick it up. Okay, now I have pre-cut this out, and I cut a second one out just in case. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Yep. Okay, so let's go about... And that's going to go, we'll move this off here. We've got our spare, got our sample. They look quite different, they're different colours. Still look nice, both of them look nice. Now I didn't put any embellishments on it because I thought the paper was enough. But I certainly could. So this one's going down flat. How long am I going for? Probably too long. And we're going over here, where's the sketch? Well, it doesn't really matter because we can go rogue. And then this one is going up on dimensionals, and I'm using scraps now. I'm down to my scraps. I do have another panel somewhere. Come on. And look at that, all gone. Am I going to do that way? Yep. Okay, where's my little pokey tool? You know what, I want to put one in the middle because I don't want it to sag. So I am going to do one in the middle. There we go, I think they're all off. Yep. And then this one's going to go down here at an angle. And then this one I popped up on dimensionals too. So if I was going to put embellishments on, I would probably use, so let's pop this here. And you know what? It doesn't matter that that's not lined up. It looks really good. Oh, thanks, Leslie. Hi, Donna. Impatiently waiting for great grandkids. Oh my goodness. Don't think I'll ever get any of them. I'll be a very funny old thing if I do. If I was going to put bling on it, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it needs any bling? I'm not sure. Because it's got gold here and it's got the gold foil. I think it's fine. I'm going to leave it. But yeah, can you see what I'm saying? Even though this isn't lined up perfectly, it doesn't really matter. You know what? Good old Winker Stella. No bling. No. Yeah, I think the gold's enough too. But you know what? Winker Stella. You can never say no to that. And you know what? It's blending my cherry cobbler into the gaps. There we go. I did that on purpose. I so did that on purpose. And now it's all lined up, see? I'll show you how clever I made that and made it just look beautiful and blended in. Can you see how it's sort of blended in now? So it's beautiful. So that's our card for today, and that's using Bauble Blooms, which is a little tiny bundle. In the online exclusive range, it's $62. Now, if you wanted to get that with free shipping, you just have to add a pack of dimensionals or something to make yourself go over to $65 to get the free shipping. Just a thought. Okay, so there are my 3 cards now so far with the Bauble Blooms stamp set and dies. Pretty cute. I like it. And as I said, it's a really nice one. You could make, it's a cheap bundle. You could buy it and whack out a whole lot of Christmas cards with that. There we go. So I hope you liked it. And I hope you think I'm not violent. I'm really quite okay. I don't have anger management issues. A lot of them for the shop. I think I might, Marilyn. You know, it's funny, I did a whole lot for the shop because it opened just before Christmas last year, and then I didn't have any religious ones, so I had to quickly come home and get out an old set and make some religious ones up. So I better make sure I've got some religious ones as well this year. Thank you for watching, ladies. I really appreciate it. It was a nice, fun 45 minutes. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. It's getting a bit overcast here, so I think we're in for some rain. And great rest of the week. And I will see you next Monday for Makeup Monday. Bye for now.